Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Ariel Hansen. I'm your training specialist with Gold Dollar Real Estate Investments. And today I'm going to be showing you how to complete the AME process. Our AME process is very easy. It can take you literally 30 minutes, as long as you're doing it the smartest, easiest way, and you're planning for it in advance. So I'm going to walk you through that. I just want to kind of preface this with AME is always due on the 25th of the month. If the 25th falls on a Saturday or Sunday, it will be due on the 26th by 11 a.m. If it's on a business day, the 25th falls on a business day, you will have until 4 p.m. to complete AME. So kind of just keep that in mind. If AME falls on a weekend, that Monday, you're going to have a shorter amount of time to get it completed. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to show you is this AME checklist for you, the site staff. So this is what you're filling out each and every month. If you don't have this, you need to go into GoConnect. I would go ahead and save this to your computer because this is what you have to sign off on each and every month. So let's kind of dive right in. The first thing that you'll see is your property name, the month that you're doing AME for, and who completed it. So if your assistant community managers are doing AME, that's totally fine, but you are, as a community manager, required to sign off on it, that you've at least reviewed it. But it's important to know that if you are not present during the day that AME falls on, your assistant community manager should be able to do it in your absence. So the first thing that you'll see is step one. This is completing all pending activity. So what I would like to see you to do, and you guys are getting a first look at Unified Login. So let me log into one site. So what we want you to do is go to your home page. And on your Today page, we've customized these for you. So when you get on your Today page, you're going to see a little widget that has tasks. Go to my Today page. And right here, you'll see your task summary. And it's going to tell you the tasks that you have pending for move-ins, move-outs, FASs. You cannot do AME if you have any of these tasks pending. So for this property example, let's just pretend like today is the 25th. They have 7 move-ins scheduled for today. If I click on that link, it's going to tell me what move-ins I have scheduled for today. You must get those completed before you can do AME. So you're either changing the move-in date or you're moving them into the system. Move out, same thing. You'll click there. You'll get a snapshot of the move-outs that you have pending. Final account statements. We have to make sure that every FAS is completed before we close the period. So you'll see move-ins, move-outs. You need to obviously wrap up any renewals that you have pending, notice to vacate. If you have any money that is pending, make sure that you get all money posted before you are closing the period. You also need to review your miscellaneous income ledgers. So if you come to your menu button, you're going to click on Administration right here. And then we are going to click on Other. And you'll see right here, Miscellaneous Income Ledgers. You need to be coming through this and make sure that everything is zeroed out. You're probably like, what are miscellaneous income ledgers? It's literally exactly what it sounds like. It's miscellaneous income that you're getting on your property, either for laundry income. This can be any kind of bad debt if you're posting it to miscellaneous income if we don't have a resident account on the ledger. Vending income, if you have any kind of vending machines that we're getting income for, this is miscellaneous income. Everything must be zeroed out before you can close the period. Another thing that you need to be checking is a transaction detail by code. So you're going to come up here to Reports. We're going to go to All Reports. And I'm going to find that transaction detail by code. Here it is. And I am pulling this for transaction codes. You know, we post all of our bad debt payments from former residents to the recovery code. So I just want to pull this really quickly, run this by my assistant community manager, and make sure that this is all of the bad debt that I have for the month before I close the period. So run this report, run it by your assistant community manager, make sure everything is posted to recovery, verify that this is all that you have, and then we're moving on from there. And then it talks about manual payments. If you have any manual payments that need scans, you go ahead and scan them in. So let's go back to the checklist. So we've just done everything here on step 1. We checked our pending tasks, we ran that transaction detail by code for recovery, and we reviewed all miscellaneous income ledgers. So now I'm moving on to step 2, and that's to pre-close the period and run your report. So when we talk about pre-close and closing the period, so you always want to pre-close the period when you're running it. So you can do AME. I could pre-close the period today and just make sure that when I go to do AME, everything is going to be on point. So to pre-close the period, you're going to come to your menu button, and then you're going to go to administration. You guys are going to be doing a lot from this administration tab. And then we're simply clicking on other. And then we have, where's my month-end processing? Oh, here it is. And I am clicking pre-close period. I'm not going to close this period because this is a live database for this property and I don't want to lock them out. But once you have pre-closed the period, we're coming back over here into our checklist, and now I can generate my report. So what I want to do is I just want to come here to my menu button, and I'm going to come to my report, and I want to generate all of my AME reports that are required. Every property has a group of reports. It's probably called Go AME Reports, West Haven AME Reports. It's probably your property name. So once you click here on the group, you're just going to simply click Generate Now. And it's going to take a couple minutes to generate. It may not even take that long. To be honest, usually it takes less than a minute. You'll see this little refresh button. Now, something that is crucial to having a successful AME is that this report group, the parameters are spot on. Because if they're not, you're going to send these to your accountant. They're going to come back with issues. And it's often because we need to update the parameters on this report. Sally is our community manager at West Haven. She's one of our learning coaches that has a lot of longevity with us. She has perfected her AME report group. If you have an AME report group that is not accurate, there are reports in there that are sketchy, they're not pulling the correct way, please email either myself or Sally Thompson. We have the option to copy this group to your property, and you'll have a spot-on AME report group just like that. It's the click of a button, we can get you an accurate group. So please email myself or Sally Thompson if you're noticing that there are issues or errors in any of these reports. So once you've clicked refresh and you have all of your reports for AME, they're all right here. We're not manually going in and generating these individually. That would take us way too long. So now I can see the date is today. And if you're wondering, well, Sally Thompson didn't pull these reports, Ariel Hansen pulled these reports. Whoever set that report group up is going to be the person that displays. So just keep that in mind. So now all of these are correct. They have today's date and today's time. So now I'm coming right here and I can see that entire report group, 24 reports. You have two options. You can come in here and manually save each and every single report. I don't know that I have time to do that. I don't know that any of us have time to do that. So I'm going to come right here and simply click on download. And basically it's going to download them all to my computer. Now I'm clicking open. And here they are. So what I like to do is I am just going to shift down, Control C, I'm copying these. I'm coming to my documents and I am creating a new folder. And I'm going to call it AME West Haven. And let's just say March 2019. I'm going to open that and I'm going to paste all these reports right there in that folder. You must open all of these reports and ensure that the date is accurate on these. So I'm coming through and I'm just looking at these and making sure that the dates are correct. So you want to make sure that you check this, because here's the thing. Some of these reports do not pull in the report group correctly. And if you have your AME checklist or if you're taking notes, please write this down. The leasing activity detail is not going to pull correctly in this report group. You must manually pull this report. You have to do that. The next one is the resident activity. This report captures your move-ins. You must pull this manually. It does not pull accurately in that reporting group, and I can see that with these dates right here. They're not correct. Those reports you must be pulling manually. Everything else is right here. So I'm done. I have my report. Once I've manually pulled those two reports, I'm going to save them here, and then I'm going to send this to a compressed zip file. So if I come back into my documents, I right-click. I'm sending it to a compressed zipped folder, and then I've saved them. Now, there are a couple of off technology reports that need to be saved in here as well, and also you would definitely save this spreadsheet in here. So once you have every report, make sure that you're compressing that to a zipped file and then sending it to your accountant. So this is the report. It's very simple. Now, let's continue through the auditing process because there's a lot of key things to remember. So once you've looked at your pre-closed report, you're good to go on to continue auditing. Now, hopefully, you're not going to be making many revisions. So we've ran our pre-closed report. Now we need to review and audit the report. So the first one is the delinquent and prepaid. So let's go back to our report group. And it wants me to audit my delinquent and prepaid. Oh, that's former residents. Let's look at this one that has all. And if I come here, you guys, I'm right here on step 3, delinquent and prepaid for current residents only. Have all prepaid accounts been reviewed to ensure that all charges are indeed charged to the ledger? Anytime we think of prepaids as a community manager, I'm thinking something has not been charged to the ledger. My mindset is that prepaids are always inaccurate. This is not always true. People do pay their rent, but with that mindset, you're auditing every single account to make sure that charges are charged up. So then it wants you to go to the grand total section of the report and answer the following question. Does the total prepaid column equal the net prepaid column? Does the total delinquent column equal the net delinquent column? So you're going to come here. I'm going to scroll down. And right here, I can see my total prepaid and my net prepaid do not match. My total delinquent and my net delinquent do not match. So if they don't match, we need to look through this report and look for people that have both a prepaid and a delinquent. So what I do is I come through here and I'm looking for outliers that have delinquent and prepaid. So let's just find one as an example so that I can show you. And here is the model, 5927. And you're probably thinking, how on earth does it have a prepaid and a delinquent total? Well, it's the model, it shouldn't. So let me show you what we need to do to fix that. So I'm going to minimize this report. I'm going to open up one site. And I'm going to go to 5927. I'm going to click View. And when I look at this ledger, anytime you see red, that's bad. That means there's a delinquent and a prepaid on the ledger. So if you click on that 0, it's going to pop open the ledger for you. I want to change this to open only. And right here, I have, here it is, that 718 is an open balance. I want you to click on the credit. We do not have this 718 distributed, and this happens sometimes during renewals. There's an abundance of reasons this can happen. I want to simply click on Change Distribution. And then I am clicking, let's see, here, 359. 359. Now all of this payment has been applied. I'm going to click on Save, Close, and I just fixed that. This is extremely important what I'm about to say for you to understand. Because I have already pulled this report here, and it showed something that was incorrect, I need to re-pull this report because I just made corrections. I do not want to send this report with that mistake to my accountant because it's required for you to make sure that none of this is inaccurate before we send it up there. So you need to make a note. We have to re-pull this report. We can go back. We can generate the entire report group. It's up to you how you want to handle this. But we must re-pull this report. So I am going to close this report, and I'm going to go back to this AME checklist. So once I've reviewed and made sure that everything is correct, I am going to come down to the next step, which is, just keep in mind that's 3, here's 4. Actually, here, I just missed something. Resident deposit audit. You must look at this report as well. So I want to go into my report group. Here it is, resident deposit audit. And you guys are also, this report is very easy to quickly audit. Anytime that you see an outstanding deposit, you need to make sure that that's for an applicant only. If you ever see a credit in parentheses, 100% it's an error. That means that we have the charge not in there, but we have the payment. So it's showing a credit. We just need to charge up the deposit. So you're just going to scroll through here, look for outliers, make sure these are applicants. We're good. That's an applicant. 825 applicant. As long as these are for applicants, we're good to go. We should never have outstanding deposits for current residents. So come through here, do a quick audit. Everything looks good. These are for applicants. And so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through this entire report. I think you guys get the gist. But remember, if you see something in parentheses, it is wrong. We need to go into the account. We need to charge up the deposit. We're going to leave these because these are true. We're not going to delete these off. These are for applicants. Now I'm going to close this report. And I'm going to come back over to my checklist. So I just audited my resident deposit audit report. And now I want to go through concessions. So all you're doing is pulling a concession report. We've already pulled it. It's right here. And we're going to quickly just audit this to make sure that everything is correct. And this is pretty self-explanatory. I think you guys are auditing concessions on a monthly basis. So just go through this concession report and make sure that everything is accurate on it. Make sure that your concession end dates that are in scheduled billing do not end in 12/31/2099. That's what it defaults to in the system when you're setting up a concession. You must change that to the current year. So it needs to end on 12/31 of the current year. And we state that for you right here. We're not going to let you forget. If you find any variances on this report that are incorrect or a mistake that you fixed, you must re-pull it before you send it to your accountant. Make sure that you're auditing your employee units. It wants to know if you have reviewed their ledger for accuracy. You're going to hopefully click on yes. And then it wants to know if you have any employees that are behind on their rent. So you'll need to hopefully put yes that everybody's current. If no, you need to list a reason why. Step 5 is your renter's insurance. You need to review and audit for compliance. And this is really important because there's a specific way for you to do this. So 9 times out of 10, we're losing money here. I'll be honest with you. This is a very common thing that we as a company could definitely improve on. But if you take the steps that I'm about to show you, you're never going to be missing revenue. So I want to come into OneSite. Let me close this ledger. I want to click on my menu button, and I want to come here to Central. Once I'm in Central, and you guys all have access to this, I'm going to click on my menu again, and this looks a little bit different. And then I want to click on Reporting. You are going to see right here, Resident Liability Insurance with Billing. Click on that report. And now you will probably, I'm thinking if you have one property assigned to you, it's going to automatically pull for yours, but you may need to choose your property. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to choose last payment at binding. Now it's the start date. I'm just going to put today. I want to know every resident as of today that is paying for Gold Dollar insurance or being charged for Gold Dollar insurance. Let me rephrase that. Just because they show on this report does not mean they're paying for it. It just means that they are using our gold dollar policy. So what I do, it's very easy. I want you to export this to Excel. So click Excel and then simply click on export. Remember, these are just people on our master plan, our gold dollar plan. So I need to see how many people. Let me move my webinar box down. There we go. Okay, so it starts at cell 10, so I'm going to scroll down. And we have 170 lines. So let's do 170 minus 10 because that's where it started. I have 160 people on West Haven at Vining enrolled in my gold dollar master insurance policy. I take that 160 and I times it by 10. That's $1,600 this property should be collecting in renter's insurance. So I minimize this, and then I go back to my report here, and I am pulling my transaction detail by code that is for renter's insurance. Here it is. I'm not going to audit every single one of these unless I have an issue. The first thing that I'm going to do is come down to this last page. All right, so this looks good. This looks like 160 some people. All right, so I have 1,540. What was I supposed to have? 1,600 minus 1,540. I only have 6 people missing from this report, so this is really not bad. But before I can close my period out, I must find out what 6 people are missing. So I need to print this report. I need to print my Excel report, and I need to quickly audit this and find out the people that are not being billed. This is the only way for you to truly, well, you could do this actually another way, but it would take you forever. This is the best way for you to be auditing this, to look for money that's missing. All right, so now that I've done that, I've made sure that everything is correct. I made my adjustments. I found those 6 people. I charged them up. I rerun this report because this one is wrong. I delete the one in this group. I add the correct one. Now let's go back to our checklist. So we're done with renter's insurance. We're going to go to step 6. Everything is correct now. We've made all of our changes. So now that I've finished, I'm going to step 6, and I am closing the period. You need to close the period, not your accountant. You close the period. So you are just going to come in to one site. Oops, I just logged out completely. Let me go log back in one site. If your property date is on the 25th, all you're doing is clicking on your date like you would go to advance it, and you're closing the period. It's very easy. So you're just going to click right here. We're pretending like the date is the 25th. And you're going to see the option to close the period. Remember, we're not going to have any pending tasks because that was our first thing that we did. We already checked that pending tasks were cleared up. You're going to see an option right here to close the period. So you want to go ahead and close it. And then we're going back to here, our checklist, and we're going to step 7. I just looked at the attendees on this call. I do not believe any of you guys are using the GoPay program. This is kind of a trend that is dying off with our company. I think we have 3 properties left portfolio-wide that use GoPay. So most of you are just putting NA and you're moving on. You don't need to do anything with this. If you use GoPay, you're just making sure that your tracking sheet is included and you're pulling the correct report that you need to pull that's listed on here. It's really as simple as that. I'm not going to dive into it because most of us are not using it, and the ones that are very familiar. Okay, so step 8 is ops technology. So we do need to pull a few reports in ops technology to include in this group right here. And the first thing that it wants to know is, are your pending orders prior to the current month completed? And if you're unsure what that means, I want you to open up ops technology. And let's see, do I not have this on? No, we don't. Inside login. Okay. So let's go to ops technology and let's see what they mean by those pending orders. Let's change this to West Haven. So if you come down here to your other box, right here, pending order, what was it that it asked me again? It wants to know, are pending orders prior to the current month completed? Yes or no? So I'm going to simply sort this by date. And here we go. We've got a lot of pending orders that are from the previous month. Actually, there's not too many for a property as large as this one is. So I just need to say, no, they're not all completed. But we have them pending because we're still waiting on invoices. I don't want to close these out. You could clone the pending orders to get a current date to keep that still in there so that you don't have any old ones. It's up to you how you want to handle that. I would probably myself just clone the old order to get it with a current month. But that's up to you how you want to handle that. So after you've verified that, you've given your explanation as to why they're not all completed, you're going to come down to the next one. Are they managed completely as possible? So hopefully you're clicking yes. Are all pending ROG approvals completed? So I'm coming back to my dashboard. I'm going to click on my home button. And right here is where it's going to tell me. So no, I have 4. And you need to either give an explanation or you need to ROG approve these and get them cleared out of your cache. So sometimes, though, it's very likely that you cannot ROG approve those. You're just going to put an explanation. No, they're not all ROG approved because I cannot confirm receipt of goods at this time, but I will get them ROG approved as soon as I receive the goods. So put an explanation and then just keep it moving. Are all invoices pending exception queue cleared out? The pending exception queue is here. So these need to be zeroed out. Pending review, export failed. You must go in and clear these out. If you're unsure how to do that, please visit my ops technology training where I go into very great detail on how to clear these out. We're not going to highlight that in today's training because that could take 30-some minutes, but they need to be cleared out. And then the next thing it wants you to do is run a pending order register and a pending ROG approval invoice register. So I'm going to come in here to Ops Technology. I'm going to click on Reports, Ops Buyer Report, and I'm going to do pending orders. Let's see, order register right here, order register. I need to change this to West Haven. Supplier, you're going to leave blank. Order status, we need to change this to pending. Receipt status, you're going to do not received and invoice not ROG approved. We have the option in Ops Technology to go in and receive our orders. We don't do that as a company. There's no need to do it. It doesn't automatically accrue it or anything like that. So you should not be receiving your orders. So you're always choosing not received and invoice not ROG approved. Date type, I want to change this to my order date. And then I'm simply clicking on Run Report. And these are all the same orders that I just saw in the previous screen. So I'm going to save this report. I'm going to print it to PDF. And I am simply adding it to this group. And then I'm going to go back and it wants another report from me. And that is my pending ROG approval. So I'm going to come into here and I'm going to click on Invoice Register. Let me change my asset to West Haven. Supplier, you're going to leave blank. We don't want to put a supplier. Invoice status, we are putting pending ROG approval. And then we want to change this invoice source to Ops Merchant Integration right here. If you don't select that, nothing will pull. Chart of accounts, you're leaving blank. Fiscal calendar, you're leaving blank. It's automatically going to pull. Date type, I want to change this. If you leave this as approval date, nothing is going to pull because remember, these are pending invoices that have not been approved. So I want to drop this box down and I'm changing this to invoice date. Document type, invoices only. Once I've changed these parameters, I can now run my report. And then here are my pending ROG approval. So I'm going to print this to PDF and I'm going to include it right here in my report group. So let's go back to my checklist. So I've done step 8 and now step 9. Oh yeah, we missed a step. Include a print screenshot of your ops dashboard. So all you're going to do is come in here, go back to your home page. I'm going to simply just take a screenshot of my dashboard. I'm going to come here to File, Save As, and I'm going to save that in my AME group of reports. And that's what your accountant's going to look at a quick glance to make sure that you did everything that you needed to do. So then I am clear to move on to the next step, and that is making sure that all of my reports are saved as PDF. You've verified your reports, and you've gone through this checklist to ensure that all of these reports are in this group. Once you've done that, you're going to sign this. If you're an assistant community manager and your manager is not present, sign this as well. Date it. You're going to scan it to a PDF and save it in this folder. And then you are sending that to your accountant, your regional, and your community manager, or copy yourself, whichever you feel is best. And then you're finished. That's AME. So I am going to, let me open up I'm going to unmute everybody now. Does anybody have any questions at all? Okay, it's not wanting to bulk unmute. Let me go through and individually unmute everybody. Now is your time to ask questions. I'll let you guys know when everybody's unmuted. Sal, there, you're unmuted. Sally Thompson, Trina Davis. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Everybody is unmuted. If you're not going to be speaking, please mute your phones because we have a little bit of background noise. Any questions at all?
Ariel, on the sorry, this is Sally. You can't tell my voice today. On the two manual reports, can't you just change the dates before you run the group, and then they would be correct in the group?
Yes. You can totally do that. So if you come in here, you can edit the parameters before you run the report group, and then run it. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yep. You're coming here and editing the parameters?
Yes.
Yes, you can do that. So you can edit these parameters, you guys, before you run this group, and then you'll have an accurate report versus pulling them all and then manually running those. So either way, you have to edit the parameters. You can do it straight here. I probably should have just highlighted that when I went over this, but yes, for those two manual reports, edit the parameters before you pull the report, or you're going to have to go back and manually pull those. Really good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Any other questions? Anybody at all? I just did this in 34 minutes, you guys. Now, of course, it would have taken me longer if I was having to go in and edit, but we're expecting you on your property to be going in probably like on the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, and doing this. Do a pre-close and just check everything so that when the 25th comes, you can do AME in 30 minutes. If nobody has any questions, that's really the end of this webinar, you guys. I hope that this was resourceful for you. I hope this helps clear up any questions that you may have had. If you ever need your report group edited, please email myself or Sally Thompson. We're happy to help. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes. TGIF. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Some courses